From the Ramones trashing Mr. Burns at his birthday party, to Metallica ditching Otto on the side of the road, to the White Stripes chasing Bart through a full-blown drum battle. These are the rock star cameos in The Simpsons that blew our minds. And one of them?
Thanks, Homer. Homer Simpson, everyone!
Let's just say, it ends with Homer in tidy whities, on stage, next to a band that usually plays shirtless. Do you remember which band? Which rock legend shredded through Springfield the hardest? 15. The Who, resolving a Springfield border war. When a band helps end a civil war, you know it's peak Simpsons absurdity.
Yeah, Magic Bus!
Okay, we'll play Magic Bus if you tear down this wall.
In the classic episode A Tale of Two Springfields, Homer sparks chaos by dividing the town in two over area code drama. Yep, that's how it starts. But the real madness kicks in when the Who, yes, the actual band, gets dragged into the mess. Springfield is literally split down the middle, and Homer builds a wall between the two factions. When the Who rolls into town for a gig, they're scheduled to play for New Springfield until they realize Homer is full of it.
Get to get what I'm after till the day I die.
What follows is pure brilliance. Pete Townshend uses his guitar to blast down the wall, and the Who ends up rocking out with the original Springfielders. The jokes are razor sharp, the satire is tight, and the fact that the Who plays peacemakers with power chords. That's TV gold. It's one of the smartest, funniest, and most rock and roll moments in Simpsons history. But if you thought Border Wars were wild, wait till we dive into an episode so grunge-soaked it had Billy Corgan headlining Hullabalooza. 14th Smashing Pumpkins, playing Hullabalooza Festival. When The Simpsons took on 90s counterculture, they brought the whole alt-rock army, including the Smashing Pumpkins. In Homer Palooza, Homer joins a traveling music festival to prove he's still cool. The lineup? Absolutely stacked. Cypress Hill, Sonic Youth, and Billy Corgan and the Pumpkins.
Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins.
Homer Simpson, smiling politely.
The scene where Homer walks up and greets Billy Corgan with Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, and Billy deadpans back Homer Simpson, smiling politely, is an all-time classic. Dry humor, rock star ego, perfection.
It's your hometown, Springfield.
Is it true that we have to bring our own water?
But it's not just about jokes. The episode captures a real moment in time when grunge and alt-rock were reshaping youth culture, and the Pumpkins fit perfectly. Brooding, iconic, the music hits hard too. They perform a live rendition of Zero during the festival, and it's actually good. For many fans, it was their first time seeing real musicians animated into Springfield, and it was done flawlessly. But if smashing guitars is your vibe, wait till you see Bart get into a full-on drum war with the White Stripes. 13. The White Stripes, chasing Bart in a drum battle. Few things are cooler than Jack and Meg White. But chasing Bart Simpson through town with drumsticks in hand, that's legendary. In the episode Jazzy and the Pussycats, Bart becomes a drumming prodigy, and naturally, that leads to chaos. He starts wilding out with over-the-top solos, and eventually, he reenacts the famous video for The Hardest Button to Button, with real-time The segment is shot-for-shot genius. Bart plays on school desks, trash cans, fences, each beat dropping with a new duplicate drum kit, just like in the real White Stripes music video. But then, plot twist. The actual White Stripes show up, furious he copied their style, and chase him through town in an epic drum battle that turns the episode into a punk rock fever dream.
Hey, kid, why don't you watch where you're drumming?
Sorry, White Stripes. No hard feelings?
Let's kick his ass!
The cameo is short, but it hits hard. Jack and Meg barely speak, but their presence is huge. For a band known for blending minimalism with power, this was a perfect animated tribute. Plus, it introduced thousands of young fans to the White Stripes in the weirdest, most Simpsons way possible. And if you thought animated chaos couldn't get any better, just wait until Blink-182 rolls up at Bart's house party. 12th. Blink-182 appears when Bart throws a rager. Only The Simpsons could mix a Bart Simpson house party with a full-on Blink-182 cameo. In the episode Barting Over, Bart becomes legally emancipated from his parents, long story, and moves into his own loft. What's the first thing he does? Throws a massive party, of course. And who just happens to be living in the same building?
Hey, Blink-182!
We have names, you know.
Whatever, you can crank it up!
Dude, let's trash this place.
Blink-182. Tom DeLonge, Mark Hoppus, and Travis Barker appear in full animated glory, doing exactly what you'd expect. Partying, skating. It's peak early 2000s. Pop punk meets primetime chaos. Blink's real-life energy translates perfectly into the cartoon world, and the writers totally leaned into their goofy, self-aware vibe, which makes the cameo feel organic, like they actually live in the Simpsonverse. But if Blink were the cool neighbors, Elvis Costello was the sarcastic professor, ready to drop snarky wisdom at rock camp. 11. Elvis Costello, another rock camp teacher. Leave it to Elvis Costello to make teaching Homer how to write lyrics feel like a roast session. In How I Spent My Strummer Vacation, Homer goes to rock and roll fantasy camp, hosted by some of the greatest musicians in history. Among the all-star instructors, the ever-sardonic, ever-brilliant Elvis Costello.
People, if everyone's gonna pick guitar, I'm not gonna have enough to go round.
Animated with his signature glasses, guitar, and wit, Costello spends his scenes mocking Homer's complete lack of songwriting skill. At one point, he tells Homer, "This is a rock camp, not a rock bottom." The burn is so real, even the animated audience flinched. While most of the other rock stars, Petty, Kravitz, Jagger, try to inspire, Costello leans fully into dry British sarcasm, and it works perfectly. His cameo isn't long, but it's sharp, and it cements him as the guy who's too cool to pretend Homer has talent. It's exactly what you'd expect from Elvis. Smart, biting, and cooler than everyone else in the room. But while Costello delivered lyrical cuts, Lenny Kravitz was all about the look, teaching Homer how to dress like a rock god. 10. Lenny Kravitz, also a rock camp guest. When it comes to stage presence, Lenny Kravitz doesn't just teach it, he radiates it. At rock camp, while the other legends teach music theory or guitar solos, Lenny pulls Homer aside for something just as vital, rock star fashion. And what follows is pure gold. In a hilarious montage, Kravitz gives Homer a wardrobe upgrade. Leather pants, a mesh tank, scarves, more scarves.
Clothes you wear on stage should be a defiant statement of individuality.
Homer struts out looking like a cross between Prince and a midlife crisis. And Lenny's final touch? Sunglasses, indoors, at night. The cameo hits all the right notes. It's funny, it's stylish, and it perfectly captures Lenny's real-life vibe. Effortlessly cool, confident, and impossible to fluster.
Like this, Mr. Kravitz?
God, no.
Even as Homer completely butchers the rock star look, Lenny remains calm and encouraging, like a glam guru trying to revive a lost cause. It's one of those cameos where the artist plays a heightened version of themselves and Kravitz absolutely nails it. But if you thought Lenny had his hands full, Tom Petty's job was even harder, trying to teach Homer actual music. 9. Tom Petty teaching Homer music at rock camp. Tom Petty was chill as ever, but even he didn't know what he was walking into with Homer Simpson. In the rock camp episode, How I Spent My Strummer Vacation, Petty is tasked with teaching Homer how to write lyrics, and from the moment he opens his mouth, you can tell this is going to be rough. Homer scribbles down lines like, "I got a haircut," or maybe not, and Petty just stares. But instead of roasting him like Costello, Petty keeps his cool, offering gentle encouragement.
When you come up with something meaningful and heartfelt,
Boring.
will you stop saying that?
He talks about writing from the heart, using real experiences, and then Homer, of course, completely ignores it and starts singing about beer and belly scratches. The brilliance of this cameo is how Petty plays it so straight.
She likes to party, she likes to rock.
He's the calm in the chaos, the mellow rock poet trying to mentor a disaster of a student. It's subtle, it's smart, and it feels like a perfect tribute to Petty's real-life chill vibes. And just when you think the camp can't get any weirder, R.E.M. shows up for a backyard garage gig that turns into a full-on alt-rock barbecue. 8. R.E.M. performing in the Simpsons garage. Imagine walking into your garage and R.E.M. is playing next to the fridge, only in The Simpsons. In The Bart of War, Homer accidentally invites R.E.M. over for drinks, not realizing who they are. Once they're there, he decides to keep them around. By converting his garage into a makeshift bar and mini stage. Michael Stipe and the crew perform "It's the End of the World as We Know It," and it's way too good for a garage show. Meanwhile, Homer keeps bringing out snacks, trying to impress them like a college kid hosting a dorm party.
Leonard, what's his name? Herman Munster Motorcade.
The episode nails the absurdity. R.E.M. isn't just a band, they're treated like guys from the neighborhood. The fact they roll with it and play along makes the moment even better. This cameo is hilarious because it's so low-key. Just Stipe, a cooler full of duff, and a song that accidentally slaps even harder in a tiny space. But if you're looking for an entrance with fireworks, Green Day's cameo in the Simpsons movie literally ends with a bang. 7. Green Day, playing during the movie's opening scene. Only Green Day could open a movie and sink into toxic sludge doing it. The Simpsons movie kicks off with Green Day performing on a floating stage in Lake Springfield. They're playing a symphonic version of their own music, which is already funny. But then they start to talk about the environment, and the crowd loses it. Bottles fly, booze rain down, someone throws a brick, and as Billy Joe tries to hold the mic, the lake's pollution eats through the stage, swallowing the band whole.
Now we'd like just a minute of your time to say something about the environment.
The last thing you see is a miniature church organ funeral scene underwater. It's dark, it's hilarious, and it's so Green Day. The band pokes fun at themselves, their politics, and their reputation all in one scene. What's brilliant here is that they're treated like rock martyrs, punished for caring too much, going down with their message still echoing. It's easily one of the most memorable intros to any animated film ever. But if you think that's embarrassing, wait until Homer tries to share the stage with U2 and gets launched into concert security hell. 6. U2. Homer gets thrown off stage during a U2 concert. What happens when Homer Simpson crashes a U2 show mid-song? Absolute Simpsons mayhem. In the episode Trash of the Titans, Homer is running for sanitation commissioner naturally. And in a move only he would think is brilliant, he crashes a live U2 concert to campaign. The band's in full swing, stage lights, massive crowd, Bono doing his thing, when Homer grabs a mic and starts ranting about garbage collection.
One man he resists.
Hello, Springfield. And he, Homer.
What the bloody hell?
At first, Bono tries to play it cool. "I admire your passion," he says. But it doesn't take long for security to tackle Homer mid-speech and drag him off stage. What makes this cameo so genius is U2's mix of politeness and total confusion. They let the chaos happen around them, delivering dry humor and occasional jabs. It's satire, it's slapstick, and it's one of the best uses of a real band in the show's entire history. And if U2 was a disaster, Moe's Tavern gets a glow-up when the Red Hot Chili Peppers bring underwear, attitude, and one unforgettable moment. Fifth, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Moe's Upgraded Tavern episode. Tidy whities, bathroom jokes, and somehow still iconic. In the episode, Krusty gets canceled, Moe's Tavern gets a temporary makeover. And with it comes a full-blown performance by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And yes, they're animated, just like you'd hope. Shirts off, socks, strategically placed. They're brought in by Krusty the Clown as part of a massive variety show comeback. But before they perform, the producers try to censor their lyrics, asking them to change "What I Got You Gotta Get and Put It In Ya" to "What I'd Like Is I'd Like to Hug and Kiss Ya."
But here will you say, "What I got, you gotta get and put it in you"? How about just, "What I'd like is I'd like to hug and kiss"?
The band pauses, thinks, and agrees immediately, with Anthony Kiedis deadpanning, "Wow, this is much better." It's one of the funniest send-ups of rock censorship ever. The Chili Peppers totally lean into the joke, and their live performance in Moe's Bar is as high energy and absurd as you'd expect. This cameo cemented the band's status as not just rock stars, but legends of self-aware, animated chaos. And speaking of legends, the Rolling Stones show up to teach Homer how to party like a rock star and survive it. 4. The Rolling Stones. Homer attends rock camp. If anyone was going to teach Homer to rock, it had to be the Rolling Stones. In How I Spent My Strummer Vacation, Homer gets sent to a rock fantasy camp, and the instructors, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards. From the moment they walk in, the Stones command the screen. They're animated perfectly. Jagger's strut, Keith's sneer, and that cool "we've done this for decades" attitude. They teach Homer stage moves, crowd work, and even how to fake an encore.
Hello, campers!
How you doing? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! It's Mick Jagger and Keith Richards!
One standout moment? They give Homer a literal inflatable pig to crowd surf on, a nod to Pink Floyd and classic rock excess, and he nearly dies trying to ride it across the festival crowd. The episode plays like a love letter to classic rock, and the Stones are front and center. What makes it even better is how they don't act too cool for it. They have fun with their roles, making jokes about ego, excess, and rock star survival. It's not just a cameo, it's an animated masterclass in rock mythology. But if we're talking mythology, Metallica's cameo might be the most metal betrayal in Simpsons history. 3. Metallica. Otto quits. His job to follow them. Metal gods. A school bus. And the most brutal betrayal in cartoon history. In the episode The Mook, the Chef, the Wife and Her Homer, Springfield Elementary's beloved bus driver Otto spots Metallica broken down on the side of the road. Naturally, he slams the brakes, kicks the kids off the bus, and races over to help his idols. For a moment, it looks like his dream's coming true, until Homer rolls up, cuts in, and offers them a ride instead. Metallica hops in without hesitation, and Otto is left screaming in the dust as his favorite band drives off with his worst enemy. Hetfield leans out the window and roasts him. "We ride with anybody except losers."
Hey, loser, we got a ride from a real fan.
I used to sleep with Lars's grandmother.
The burn is deep. and the moment. Pure, savage gold. What makes this cameo iconic is how Metallica leans fully into the parody. They're not precious about their image. They make fun of themselves, the fans, and even Otto's heartbreak. And if Metallica was savage, Aerosmith was straight up legendary, being the first band ever to appear on The Simpsons. 2. Aerosmith. Playing at Moe's Tavern. The original rock band cameo, and still one of the best. Way back in Season 3's Flaming Moe's, the writers pulled a wild card. Aerosmith walks into Moe's Tavern and plays a full-on set. No hype, no setup, just Steven Tyler pulling a mic out of his pants and shouting, "Hello, St. Louis!"
Oh, St. Louis!
That's Springfield, Steven.
Oh, yeah, right. Are you ready to rock?
A dive bar becomes a rock venue. The cameo hits every note. Tyler's mic stand twirls, Joe Perry's slick solos, and a mid-song gag where Moe gives the band free pickled eggs for life. Even in animated form, Aerosmith brought the house down. This episode set the standard for every band cameo that came after. Funny, chaotic, and surprisingly respectful of the band's vibe. Plus, they actually perform Walk This Way. And it sounds amazing. But if Aerosmith opened the rock cameo gates, the Ramones came in and blew them off the hinges at Mr. Burns' birthday bash. 1. The Ramones, Mr. Burns' birthday episode. Go to hell, you old bastard. Enough said. In Rosebud, Mr. Burns' birthday party is meant to be classy. Champagne, high society guests, the works. Instead, Smithers hires the Ramones as entertainment. The punk legends show up completely confused and absolutely trash the moment with pure punk disrespect. One of them says, "We'd like to say this gig sucks." And another screams, "Go to hell, you old bastard," before launching into a blistering version of Happy Birthday that's more insult than celebration. Burns, naturally, is horrified.
Just like to say this gig sucks.
Hey, up yours, Springfield.
He whispers to Smithers, "Have the Rolling Stones killed." It's dark, weird, and absolutely iconic. This moment is more than a cameo. It's a perfect punk rock grenade dropped into the prim and proper world of Mr. Burns. The Ramones didn't play it safe. They showed up, caused chaos, and bailed.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Just like they would have in real life. And that's why it tops the list. These were the wildest rock star cameos in Simpsons history, from epic birthday insults to legendary stage crashes and cartoon chaos that only Springfield could deliver. Comment below which cameo you'll never forget. And if you actually watched it live when it aired, we need to hear about it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and send this video to a rock fan who needs a blast of pure nostalgia. And if you thought this was animated insanity, just wait till you see the unforgettable rock crowd participation moments. Click the video on screen and find out if your unforgettable moment is on the list. Rock on, and we'll see you in the next one.